So this is the gear layout for my 101st Airborne 502nd Parachute Infantry Regiment enlisted man impression. There are some items I'm missing, but here are all the main bits. Got the M42 trousers and jump jacket with the reinforced canvas, knee pads and elbow pads, pockets. This is at the front brand. This is a reproduction. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's a post-war M1 helmet. Got at the front Corcoran jump boots, unknown reproduction enlisted man trouser belt. Got my gear layout here. Explain to you everything. This is a unknown, likely reproduction M1936 pistol belt. I'm not sure what brand it is. It's pretty good. I got it at a gun show. Got an M1924 Mandoline first aid kit right there. M1942 canteen cover. 1945 original surplus canteen. Mandoline M1910 entrenching tool. I believe this is an at the front cover. It's a transitional one, as you can see by this little green webbing, this little green texture down here. Fits pretty good actually. I could work out the wrinkles a little bit, but fits pretty good so far. They did use a little bit of transitional equipment in Normandy. Got I had these for a while, 2 years, these, or maybe a year and a half or so. Mandoline, the M1 Grand M1A1 carbine rigger pouches. They hold 4 M1 Grand magazines for my G&G M1 Grand. This is a unknown dated, I'm not sure when it's dated because there's no markings on it, M1 Grand bayonet. It's wartime made. The blade is really nice. Just a spear point. You see it's nice. It's not really nice, the steel. It's a 10-inch. It's later war made. Suspenders are Mandoline. I've had them taped and measured to my waistline and to where I like it. And this is a Mandoline M1936 musette bag, non-transitional, khaki. I've just stuffed some bunch of stuff in here to make it look like somewhat full. Just stuff it a little bit more. You don't want to run around with, again, as I emphasize, empty bags, empty pouches. The rest of the gear, we got a Mandoline scabbard, M8 leather scabbard for your M3 trench in. Sorry, my reproduction. I forgot what brand this is. Trench knife, M3 trench knife. I've dubbed the handle too. I forgot to mention that in my Operation Market Garden video. The blade, I've never resharpened this thing. It's always stayed sharp. I've opened so many things with this knife. I've never had to resharpen the blade yet, and it's held up for the last 2 years. Again, this leg strap will eventually go. It's from a USMC 782 lower haversack I stole from one of my old impressions. Leg tie again, this also has to be dubbed. Weapons. Oh, before I get to that, the last item is, I got this with some HPTs a while back. I got a jacket, a pair of trousers, and these jump gloves, or they can also use them for a tanker impression. They are weathered, as you can see, because I actually use them to work on cars. And the leather's holding up really well. I have another set from Mandoline. It's a pile of crap compared to this. These gloves are very durable. Not good for cold weather. I've tried using it in cold weather when I was visiting San Francisco. But overall, very good. Does the job. And now it just looks 10 times cooler than when I first got it. I don't know what brand they are. They're really good, let's say, soft leather. And yes, you're probably wondering, what are your weapons? We got the G&G M1 Garand over here. And right next to it, we got a King Arms M1A1 carbine. This one I got in a trade for my Matrix M1918 BAR. The guy who owned it before me did a nice like weathering and wood job on it. I personally think it looks nice. I'm gonna do the full World War II conversion by removing the bayonet lug, putting the correct World War II sights, and leaving 2 holes in the gas port, so filling up these 2 holes right here and then blending everything back in. Then it'll look like a World War II correct M1A1 carbine, as it should. The M1, well, I've been dying to use this thing, so if the weather is good this weekend, I'm gonna try to take it out for airsoft, but that's pretty much the gear and weapons layout for this impression. Hey everyone, Kilimanjaro 808 here again, bringing you another video. We're coming live from my kitchen. About half my family's away on some business on the Big Island, so me and my brother have the house to ourselves, and I just thought I'd make this video of a Normandy impression I'm putting together just for fun, for airsoft, and for historical reasons, and because I missed my old one. Because I actually did have a Normandy 101st Airborne impression that I sold to a friend, and I scored this set off eBay, and I've had the gear laying around, and I just thought I'd throw everything together. So let me put my jacket on. And the reason why I'm doing this is that way you can see everything I'm wearing from the very basic, and I'll put my gear on and you can see everything else from that point. I am missing a few items in this impression. I'm working on getting them, like a wool shirt. As far as my research goes, there are some GIs that wore white t-shirts. Others were given wool shirts. Some were also had a combination of the two. GIs in particular were not issued white t-shirts. They actually they were purchased from like not sewing shops, but like shops in England and all that. So they would jump out with white t-shirts. That's how we got them. The Army did not provide GIs with white t-shirts. They somehow found them from civilians and whatnot. But anyway, that out of the way, I'm gonna put everything on. This one's a little different because it's closer to my size. The last one I had was a little oversized. As you can see, it conforms quite snug to my body. I'll add pictures in the end of this video of my old impression. And the one cool thing I like, the whole reason why I got it, I got shoulder pockets on my jacket. My old one didn't have these. So again, I'll give you the information on what is what, like what brand this is, this jacket and trousers, boots, everything is. As we move on through the video, you're gonna get to hear everything. And I don't know how correct this is, but I also have extra pockets added to the buttocks area of the jacket, the rear of the jacket. I don't know how correct this is, but I thought that to be kind of cool. I don't know if I'll be able to reach it though. So, again, a few small nuances, a few items that are missing, but I've got the main bits so far. Oops. And again, this video takes too long, just fast forward it. I don't have a mirror, so I'm just doing everything all by feel pretty much. So one thing I like is that this thing actually fits me. I got the right size this time around. The other one I just bought because it was cheap. I didn't know how to measure uniforms back then, but now I do. That was the better part of 2 years ago. Yeah, sorry, my belly kind of sticks out, but oh well. Okay, so in the initial jump, some paratroopers were given these. These are jump gloves. I don't know what brands mine are, but as you can see, they're weathered a little bit because I actually use them to work on cars for a brief period of time. And this actually holds up better than my man line set, just a pile of junk. That's what I'm using to work on the cars now. For the sake of this video, I'll just put them on and I'll take them right off right after. Most of the paratroopers just ditched these after the jump, or they kept them in their pockets stowed away. So the uniform itself, the jacket and trousers, these are at the front brand. It's got the 101st leg ties, which are in khaki. 82nd is gray, I think. It's the reinforced versions with the reinforced elbows, knee pads, and pockets down here. Because in the first pattern M42, used in Sicily and Italy, these areas would tear away over time, so to speak. They would get fatigued very easily, and in 1944, or during Normandy, the army reinforced them with these canvas reinforcements. They were this really gray, greenish kind of color. So that's what it would look like during the jump into Normandy. They also used them in Holland, the same thing. They would just ditch it after a landing, and as you can see, it's already trying to come out of my jacket. See, it wants to come out. But that's pretty much what it would look like. Guess my hands are not wide enough. So let me take these off because they're actually getting in the way. I only use them for airsoft because I don't want to get shot in the hands and fingers. It hurts like a bastard when you get shot in the fingers and hands. Pardon my French there over a little bit. Okay, let me put the gear on. This is probably something you want to see. And I'll go through each gear item, where I got it, so on, so on. Just figure out how this darn thing goes on. Again, I'm doing this all by feel, looking at the reflection in the television right next to me. So if this takes too long, just go ahead and fast forward the video. I just want to make sure I got everything right, I'm portraying it correctly, and that there's no fog here involved. Kind of a last minute observation, but this kind of reminds me of firefighting gear, if you know what I mean. Okay, so that is the gear. Just make sure I've got nothing's hanging up on anything like that. Oh, another item missing here is the M2 switchblade. Of course, switchblades are illegal. They make them in assist openers, but there should be a pocket here. Right here, there's an additional pocket to keep that switchblade, or they make them in assist openers from at the front. They would use it, or they call it the gravity knife. It would be stored in this pocket here. So if you get caught in a tree or something like that, you don't have access to your knife on your leg or on your belt. So open that up, pull the blade out, and you can cut your risers. Well ahead of its time. That was 75 years ago, and it's still well ahead of its time. That's why these are very timeless, these old uniforms. Okay, take out the slack of anything that's hanging up. And let me put on the helmet. So again, starting with the belt, this is a belt I got at a gun show. I don't know what brand it is. It's got brass plated buckles. I believe it's a reproduction. It's really good, thick material. I've got 2 rigger pouches here. These are from at the front. They hold 4 M1 Garand magazines, as you can see right there. What I mean by 4 is 2 in each. I could probably put 1 more in here. I'm probably going to order 2 or 4 more magazines for my M1 Garand here. I never tried the actual M1 clips. I'll probably get dummy clips and try those out in time. Over here I got this at a gun show most recently. This is a 10-inch M1 Garand bayonet. It's an original World War II 10-inch scabbard. I paid quite a bit of coin for this bayonet. It's all original. The bayonet is in really nice shape. I don't want to hurt myself, but just if you can get it out. The blade is in really nice condition. M1924 first aid pouch kit right here. This is a Man the Line Repro. It's okay. M1942 canteen cover, original 1945 dated canteen. Probably sourced out of 44 dated canteen later on. A reproduction Man the Line M1910 E-tool, reproduction transitional M1910 cover, if I'm not mistaken. I got this cover at a gun show. I actually have two E-tools now. This is my Man the Line one, and I got an original with my Sergeant Horvath impression. So I switched out my E-tools. So the one on my Horvath impression is an original E-tool that was repainted. Suspenders, these are from Man the Line in 1936 suspenders. Man the Line parachuter's first aid kit. This has a tourniquet, a bandage, and a syringe. I like it personally here on my suspenders. I don't like it on my helmet. I don't care for it on the belt either. Let's see what else. Boots, these are at the front, reproduction boots. They fit pretty well. These are size 9. See, the jump knife is a reproduction jump knife. M3 trench knife, I'm sorry. Infantry and airborne use these. You know, the funny thing about this knife, and you can see I dubbed the handle here. It's 100 times better than what it was when I first got it. I've opened so many things with this particular knife, I've never had to resharpen the blade yet. It's sharp. I mean, it really is still quite sharp after being used so many times. The scabbard in which it goes into is a Man the Line scabbard. Again, I have the wrong leg tie. This is a USMC 782 haversack leg tie. I'll switch that out eventually. And this bottom leg tie, this is from a pistol holster. Like a Man the Line pistol holster I've had. You can use it for the knife as well, it's correct. I just have to coat it with some snow seal to dub it. They don't look alright. Oh, and then the last item is the musette bag. This is from Man the Line. I've had this for 2 years already. I gotta stuff it a little bit more, but I got some like old shirts and all that inside. Give it more mass, more volume. You don't want to run around with empty bags and pouches, you know. Wouldn't look too good. The helmet. This is my it's the original post-war shell OD3 khaki net, helmet net, correct chin strap, liner strap. The liner, I think it is post-war, but it looks like someone built it to World War II specifications. I'm not too smart when it comes to M1 helmets. I can just tell a swivel bail from a fixed bail. That's it, and the chin straps. Eventually I'll get a different helmet, but for now this will work. Or a different liner, but for now this will work. Weapons. So for this impression, you can use 2 weapons. I prefer this one. This is a G&G M1 Garand. I got a G&G sling on here. I got this one from e-bike a little while ago, like a year ago. I haven't field tested it yet, but it's a brilliant rifle, brilliantly made, spectacular piece to have in your collection if you're a World War II reenactor or collector or airsofter. I've had 2 M1 Garands previous to this, the A&K and before that ICS. While they're all right and they're good in their own remark, I personally prefer the G&G. It's worth the investment. It's the most expensive one of the 3, but you're gonna pay for its quality. And I'm sure its performance is second to none. Everything is correct on this rifle. And yes, you're probably gonna ask me the $1 million question, but does a bayonet fit over this thing? Well, you're about to find out. So, the answer to that question, yes it does. And it fits on like a glove. Look how cool that is. That's an original bayonet too, by the way. Let me safely put this back in its sheath. There we go. So yes, it does take a bayonet. Everything is correct. Everything is parkerized metal. The wood is in fairly good color. And I'm not sure what kind of wood it's made of. It's pretty heavy duty. All the barrel bands, everything are parkerized. It's got the correct trades. They're engraved, not lasered on like some other ones. But oh, this is a brilliant piece. Yeah, definitely get the G&G M1 Grand. If you don't have a M1 Grand, you want something a little different, which also the paratroopers use. They got the King Arms M1A1 carbine here. This is a custom in the sense that I bought this as it is, as you see it. Well, actually, I traded a Matrix M1918 DAR for this one. This one, as you can see, has a custom wood job and a weathering job on it. I've attached a sling in the correct way sling should be mounted. There's not too much slack on this thing like I've done in the past personally, and how I see others. I just gotta get the correct World War II sights for it, remove the bayonet lug, switch out the front sling mount, and that's about it. Oh, and fill the gas ports over here. It's only, the World War II one only has 2. This one has 4. King Arms really got to fix that problem. But other than that, excellent piece to have. So that pretty much wraps up this video. I'm just going to do some ending shots with the carbine and the M1. And I thank you guys so much for watching. When I get a chance to play Airsoft, I'll try to get some footage of me in this impression using it. There's a few more items I still have to obtain. But other than that, I'm very satisfied with the way this impression came out. Far better than the one I had before. And that's it. Now for the M1. Okay. Ooh.